What's up, everybody? Mark with Coffee and Toys here, bringing you another Star Wars The Vintage Collection unboxing and review. That is right. I am finally doing an unboxing and a review that is not G.I. Joe. So I am very excited. As you can see, I am fully loaded up in Star Wars gear. I've got my Kenobi shirt on. I have my awesome new Death Star mug that my wife got me for Christmas. And yeah, I have been waiting to do this review. Today's review is actually going to be a 2-for-1. Because today on the channel we do have from the Galaxy of Heroes collection, we've got Jedi Knight Revan with HK-47 and Knights of the Old Republic Darth Revan. So let's talk about it. So I love Knights of the Old Republic. I've said that before on this channel. I'll say it again. It's by far my favorite Star Wars video game that's been created so far ever. And I know there's a rumor about there being a remaster or a re-envisioning of Knights of the Old Republic. So I love the story. Darth Revan is my second favorite Sith, only to Darth Vader himself. And when they announced for the Vintage Collection that not only that we were going to get, as I said, with Darth Revan, we were going to get the Jedi Knight Revan with HK-47, which I love HK-47. He makes Knights of the Old Republic so he's hilarious. I love every single time he calls someone a meatbag. It just, I smile ear to ear. But yeah, also with the Galaxy of Heroes is actually something I play on my phone every day, and I've been playing for literal years. I think I'm at 4 years now playing this game, and I still suck at it. I've played it for 4 years every day on my phone, and I'm terrible at it. But it is, we're not talking about that game. We are talking about these action figures. We're going to unbox both of them today. And if you are a new person and you just found my channel, welcome. Here's what we do on the channel. I review figures. I am an out-of-box collector, if you can't already tell from all the stuff behind me. I do Star Wars, I do G.I. Joe, Masters of the Universe, whatever figures really kind of catch my fancy. And today it is the Star Wars The Vintage Collection, which is something I really enjoy. I enjoy the size of those figures. And it's really my main Star Wars collection. I do some Black Series. As you can see, I actually have Jedi Knight Revan and Darth Revan up there. But yeah, I've been looking forward to these, especially having them in the 4-inch format. I think it's going to be great. But yeah, we'll talk about the boxes that they come in. Then we'll unbox the figures. We will review the figures, and then I'll kind of give you my final thoughts. We'll definitely compare the Revans today, since we have them both on the channel. And then I'll give you my final thoughts on whether it was worth picking them up or not, and whether I think you should do the same. But before we get into that, make sure you hit that like button. It helps out the channel a lot. Make sure you subscribe, hit that bell notification, set it to all notifications. That way you don't ever miss a video, whether it be G.I. Joe, Star Wars, or something completely different. With that being said, let's hop on over and start talking about Darth Revan, Jedi Knight Revan, and HK-47 in the Vintage Collection line. Okay, we are going to start with the Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, Jedi Knight Revan, and HK-47. If you're not familiar with Galaxy of Heroes, it is a mobile game. It's by EA. Is it by EA? I can't remember. Probably EA. They make a lot of Star Wars games almost exclusively. Yeah, this is actually a 2-pack. So when it showed up, it is 2 figures in one. And just looking at the front of the box, you do see that Galaxy of Heroes logo. And you can see it says includes the 2 separate figures, each on their own card. And here you get a nice little picture of them just kind of with their accessories. Not many accessories, but they are both in this package. And we spin to the side, you can see we have a picture of Darth Revan himself. I'm sorry, Jedi Knight Revan himself. If you're unfamiliar with the Knights of the Old Republic game, it's RPG based, and you could actually have Revan go dark or light in the game. Now, in the game, he didn't show up in the white outfit, I don't believe. But they decided for Galaxy of Heroes and subsequent action figures that he would be dressed in white. And I don't remember, maybe he was in the game that way. It's been a while since I've played it. Of course, on the back, we do see what they look like on card. Of course, we have the Vintage Collection Star Wars logo there. Very excited to see these 2 figures coming out. And of course, on this side, we have HK-47, who is the assassin droid in that gaming series. He's actually in Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2. But yeah, so there they are in this box. So let's just go ahead and get them out of the box. We're not going to cut away for this. We'll just actually open it up and see. Well, maybe we have some tape on here. So let's get that tape removed real quick. And I'll come back and we'll go over the card art some more. Okay, so I got them out of the outer box, and of course you can see they do come on unpunched cards, and we do see Jedi Knight Revan with his artwork in the background. I love it. It looks beautiful. Of course, he is on a blister card, and we can see he does come with his famous or infamous, depending on how you look at it, purple lightsaber. And spinning around to the back, we get the Star Wars Vintage Collection, and we get just a brief little note that says, the journey from dark side back to the light is complete as the legendary Revan finds redemption as a white-robed Jedi Knight. This is VC number 306, and I love the way this figure looks, and I love the purple highlights there. It kind of just goes well with the figure overall. Man, I wish I gotten two of these because this just looks fantastic. But moving on, I'm going to set him over to the side, and we do have, of course, HK-47, the assassin droid, and friend of and protector of Revan. Of course, we see him in a some sort of dark area. You can see some great walking path down there. Almost looks like the lower parts of Bespin, right? Of course, we got that retro Kenner logo there. We see he does come with his gun. And spinning it around to the back, we do see that he's number 305 in the series. HK-47, a hunter-killer droid from the Old Republic era. HK-47 is a deadly assassin with a dark sense of humor, and that is very true. Again, if you've never played Knights of the Old Republic, highly recommended. I actually just bought the game recently from my nephew. I bought him like a 7-in-1 Nintendo Switch gaming pack that has Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2 on it, and HK-47 is absolutely hilarious. But yeah, so there we go. We have both figures on their cards. And let's go ahead. Now that we've done this, we do have Darth Revan, who is a separately sold figure. And I'm going to go ahead and bring him out straight up so we can look at him. Of course, we see that it says Knights of the Old Republic, Darth Revan. And on this one, it's very different, very dark. We've got the reds. We see the red lightsaber. And this Darth Revan does come with his Sith saber and his red saber, I should say, and his purple saber. So one more accessory than the other Revan. And spinning around to the back, of course, they've done this one with the red background. He is VC301, so earlier in the series versus the other two. And of course, we see it says Revan left Coruscant a hero of the Jedi Civil War and returned a traitorous Sith disciple bent on destroying the Republic. And of course, we see him here with his lightsaber, both lightsabers rather. So very cool. We do have all three of them now, so I will line them up so that you can get one last look at them before we, of course, we open these figures and really deep dive into them. So yeah, there's all three of our figures, and I will see you in a moment, and we will talk about them out of the package. Okay, here we have it, HK-47. I'm going to pull him up real close to the screen so you can get a good look at him. Fun fact, if you don't already know, this is only the second time, if memory serves me correctly, that HK-47 is being created in a 4-inch format. The actual first time he was created, he was a Build-A-Droid figure, and I remember buying all the figures from that wave. Oh my gosh, I can't even remember how long it's been. Easily a decade, maybe even longer. Maybe close to 2. Heck, I don't know. It's been a long time. He was a Build-A-Droid figure. And yeah, it was very difficult. You had to buy all the pieces for him. And, you know, I remember scouring Targets everywhere trying to find this figure or all the pieces of the figure to have a complete set. I love this figure. I love him because of nostalgia, and I love the way they've made him. The joints blend seamlessly. Now, of course, he does have very typical vintage collection articulation. He moves at the head. He swivels around the waist, up and down. Looks very good. He has 365-degree motion up on his shoulder. He does indeed bend at the elbows. It is very tight. And he has wrist articulation. He can go full 360 there. He does not have a hinge on these joints. Try to zoom in so you can see it a little better. Get some focus going on here. And then he does come with this one accessory, which is his blaster gun. And it's funny because this gun's very strange. It's not really got a good way to hold it. He can hold it like this, but he can't really aim with it. But this is how the gun looked in the game. It was very strange. The articulation just doesn't really line up to hold this gun. So he's generally holding it just like you see it here in my hand. He does swivel at the bicep as well. I guess I should have pointed that out, so you can make him kind of holding it off to the side like this if you really want to. And of course, he bends at the hips. He's got knee articulation, and he does have some limited mobility in the ankles. Do not believe these are rocker ankles. They do not seem to be, and they are very tight. Those are some very tight joints. But again, I'll go ahead and zoom in so you can get a good look at his face. You can see just he's got some battle damage on him, and this is just how he looks in the game. I mean, it's like he just stepped off the screen. So cast in that copperish orange color, that burnt orange color, and just looking very, very good. I'm very excited to have this figure. And again, it's just because we've never had him before. I really can't wait to see if he comes out in the Black Series, because even though I'm not a huge Black Series collector, I would definitely pick up an HK-47. But there he is for one final view, if I can get the camera to focus in on him. And yeah, let's go ahead and move him out of the way, and let's move on to Jedi Knight Revan. Now, of course, this is Jedi Knight Revan that came in the 2-pack with HK-47. And a few things to point out about Darth Revan. He does have a little more articulation than his counterpart HK-47. So zooming in real quick, we can see he's got the white Jedi Knight robes on. He does come with that purple lightsaber. The lightsaber does not come out of the hilt. The blade does not come out of the hilt. A little disappointing that he does have articulation in the wrist, so he can actually bend his wrist, I believe, up and down. I think it's a vertical. Or maybe this one doesn't have it. No, I was moving it earlier. I know it does. Yeah, it can move vertically up and down, and this one, I believe, can move horizontal. No, it's vertical as well. I apologize that my camera does not want to stay in focus today. But yes, so he does have a little more articulation. Of course, he can bend at the, he swivels up here at the forearm or at the shoulder. A little bit of articulation hindered because of the hood. But again, you can see that he has elbow joints. And he does have cloth goods. So the cloth goods on the lower body are really a nice touch. They didn't just give us everything plasticky. Spinning him around to the back, you can see that you've got plastic and then the remaining cloth goods. He does have articulation all the way up the leg. If we slide up, you can see he's got gold shin bracers, kind of a copperish gold. He's got a single jointed knee. He does have articulation at the ankles. It is not, oh, it is a rocker. Good. So he does have a rocker articulation at the ankles as well. And then I believe this actually comes off. So if you just simply pull it off, you can see his mask underneath of it. And again, we have not gotten a Jedi Revan in 4-inch scale for a long time. As a matter of fact, I think prior to these coming out, if you wanted that Jedi Knight Revan, it commanded a pretty penny. And I do remember in the old figure, it was Darth Revan, it wasn't Jedi Knight Revan, you could take the hood off as well, and they had like a bald head on the back, and they've since replaced it and done like a complete Darth Revan helmet, because we didn't really know what the back of the helmet looked like from Knights of the Old Republic. It's never shown. So they, the Hasbro designers at the time just had to assume, oh, he must have been bald. And because I think when you start the game out, your character's bald unless you edit him. But yeah, so very cool. And yeah, let's go ahead and set him down real quick, get one final look at him. At Jedi Knight Revan, if I can zoom out, get the camera focused a little bit. Very cool. But now let's move on to Darth Revan. So moving on to Darth Revan here, we do have him. He does, you immediately notice, isn't a little bit different. So real quick, you can see he has 2 lightsabers, as I pointed out earlier in the video, and he does have that extra cloak or cape, whatever, I guess you want to call it cape in this case. And as you can see, I'll go ahead and zoom in a little bit here if I can get my phone to work with me just a little bit more. Articulation is exactly the same on this figure. The design of the figure is exactly the same, just a different paint deco, obviously being black for Sith. But everything's the same with the addition of the, they do have the addition of the destroyed cape. And we still have the same mask. And if you wanted to, you could actually take this one off as well. And you can see it's exactly the same head sculpt. Matter of fact, everything's exactly the same. There's no difference other than the paint apps and the addition of that hood, which seems to be, well, you could actually pop this head off and you could take that hood off if you really wanted to. But yeah, looking fantastic, just up and down the figure. I'm going to assume the pants on this one are probably, yep, they are black. Makes sense. And the bracers are more of a red versus the, oh no, I guess that is the same color. But yeah, very cool. And again, the big draw to this figure is he does come with 2 lightsabers. But yeah, that pretty much sums it up. So let's just let's bring all 3 figures out here. I'm going to go ahead and zoom the camera back out. And sometimes it wants to focus and sometimes it doesn't. But let's do a quick comparison of the 2 figures together. Just so you can get a good look at them, I will turn the camera ever so slightly. And I will zoom in so you can get a better view of these figures. I love these figures. I think they are fantastic. I'm glad I have both versions because, like I said, if you played Knights of the Old Republic, you really did get to choose if Revan was going to be a hero or a villain in that particular video game series. And it was really fun at the time. Still is a fun game. I recommend everybody play it. Here we go, just for some added flavor. We'll put HK-47 back in the mix. And you can see they all stand about the same height. Revan is a bit taller than HK-47. But yeah, standard vintage collection height. And yeah, looks great. I am disappointed that the lightsabers don't come out of the hilts because, oh gosh, I mean, just even right over here, I've got the Vader and Obi-Wan from their 2-pack, and their lightsabers come out of the hilt. And wow, my camera is really not wanting to focus today. Or I guess these are the alternate ones. They didn't come out of the hilt. They are actually just alternate handles. So I think I would have liked to have seen, Revan without lightsabers ignited. And I think I would have liked if they had also given us an area to actually connect them to his outfit. Because as you can see on this figure, it's probably a little bit easier. He has all these little loops. And it would have been real easy just to hook those lightsabers onto those loops. But, it is what it is. I feel like you could have easily have attached it, something like that. But, they did what they did. And for the fact that we have not had any Darth Revan figures for so long, or an HK-47 for so long, I'm just glad to have these figures in my collection. But what about you guys? Let me know in the comments below, after you like this video, of course, letting me know, are these figures you want to pick up, or are they easy passes, don't resonate with you? I can tell you right now, I did check before this video, Darth Revan is sold out on Hasbro Pulse. You will not be able to pick him up there, but the 2-pack is still available. I believe it's $35 or $40, so it's not really cheap, but I still think it's worth picking up because who knows if we're ever going to get another HK-47. It's been, like I said, at least 10 years, and I'm really probably longer than that. I bet it's closer to 15 years since that original Build-A-Droid came out. But that 2-pack's worth picking up alone for HK-47 unless they re-release him later. Maybe they will. Maybe you play the long game on this and you'll get him later. Darth Revan is sold out. 2-pack's still available on HasbroPulse.com. But let me know in the comments what you think. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, set the bell notification to all notifications, and make sure you give me a like. It really helps out the channel. And let me know what you think of this video. Should I stick with more vintage collection stuff, or do you guys prefer to see G.I. Joe or some other line? Let me know in the comments. Otherwise, I'm Mark. You've been watching Coffee with Toys, and I'll see you later.